Guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at my favorite filming spot location, and guess what? We have that one big bad mamma jamma from Chevrolet. It's this vehicle right here. This is the updated refresh 2025 Chevrolet Suburban. It's been around since 1935. This is the Suburban RST. But before we get into the largest SUV that Chevy sells, let's talk about what's going on here. So General Motors. Under General Motors, who are the players? You got GMC, you got Chevrolet, you got Cadillac, so on and so forth. Of course, almost can't forget, a lot of people's favorite brand, Buick. Got all these brands underneath General Motors, but you know what? When it comes to that go-to for versatility, for hard-working vehicle and everything else, the Suburban's been a standout since the 1930s. And with 2025, you're getting a bunch of updates and changes. Now, the fascinating thing is that when it comes to performance, you still get your 3 different engine options. 2 different V8s that are naturally aspirated and a Duramax turbocharged diesel engine. But what I want to find out is, if you're looking for the biggest and the one that's the best, is this Suburban the way to go over, say, a Yukon, or even, dare I say, a Cadillac Escalade? Let's go ahead, let's dive into ours and see if we can find out. Right off the bat, I love the color. Radiant red is one of my favorite colors of any brand, and it fits the attitude of the RST Suburban very well. Now, at the front of the business, you're getting all new style. New LED lighting, daytime running lamps, turn signals up top, LED headlights, functional corner air curtains, everything that radiant red, just a little bit of gloss black, and then you have your LED fog lamp. But they really have matured the style that came around the previous generation in a very good way. A lot of people, including myself, thought it looked more like a Transformer. But now they really have modernized it and cleaned it up, and it's a very unique look that I don't think is too over the top anymore. Now, as we come across the center grille, when you go RST, you're getting your blacked out bow tie, Louis Chevrolet, all the way back to the early 1900s. You got your forward-facing camera, fully functional up top, and then working our way down, you do have some fake vent. The reason why they blocked that off is that lower portion is for the Duramax turbo diesel engine, not for the V8s. But you'll notice that little bit of gloss black, really thin along the lower lip. But let me know what you think about the face of this RST compared to the competition. Now, as we rise up, hood is the same, big and bold, and it looks beautiful. Love the nice crisp lines, no crazy indentations. Come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire. We have the new optional 24-inch wheels. Absolutely manhole cover size. Steven actually collects manhole covers, and we got one of those manhole covers out and put it right in front of this wheel, and it's basically the same size. So 24 inches in diameter, machined aluminum, the gloss black. Actually, it's carbon flash metallic painted. And if you're wondering what the heck is the tire size, you're basically looking at that 285 on the width, 40 series sidewall. We have magnetic ride suspension, all 4 corners, and everything is painted radiant red. But let me know what you think about those wheels. They're pretty darn big. Coming down the side, you got your color match mirror caps, 360-degree cameras, like the way on RST. Everything's blacked out. And if you're wondering what the heck does RST stand for, Rally Sport Truck. And it makes sense because this sits on a truck chassis, the Silverado truck chassis. Up top, you're going to get those gloss black roof rails, color matched on the door handles, and those are your Suburban RST fixed running boards with just a little bit of gloss black along the edge. Coming towards the rear, everything is the same as previous model year, and then when we swing it around back, it's big and beautiful. No exposed wiper, nice long spoiler on the roof, your wipers tucked underneath. They just do a little bit of gloss black, not like the freaking Expedition where like half of the rear end is gloss black now. What are they thinking? A little bit of gloss black. The Suburban name nicely spelled out. There's your RST badge. Love the way they do the font, the colors. And then working our way down to ground level, you're not getting this on your Expedition. You got your quad tip exhaust. Really nice stainless steel tips. This comes off. You remove this cover, and that's where you're going to have all your towing capability. Of course, we could also throw in there the Jeep Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer as well into that full-size kind of segment. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see which engine we have in our RST. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts underneath the hood. We do have the 6.2-liter naturally aspirated V8. The interesting thing is that is the same exact engine that comes in a Cadillac Escalade. But what are we looking at with the 6.2-liter V8? You're looking at 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. It is bolted to a 10-speed automatic transmission. We do have four-wheel drive, of course, in our particular Suburban, and it is rear-wheel drive based on top of that. When it comes to 0 to 60, you're going to be surprised. 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds. Top speed 113 miles an hour. And remember, this vehicle weighs right around 6,100 pounds. It can tow over 7,800 pounds. It all depends on if you get the trailer towing package, and also depends on what engine option you have. But why don't we go ahead? We got the V8. Let's rev it up and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Chevrolet Suburban RST with that 6.2-liter V8 underneath the hood. It's crazy to think that it gets 14 miles to the gallon and 18 on the highway. But the good news is there's ways for you to save money, especially by going to Costco and loading this thing up with all your Costco goodies. But I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, lay it on me. How much is this Suburban? Starting price is 72 grand. This one, with all the options, the 24-inch wheels, we got Super Cruise and a bunch of other goodies, you're looking at $91,000. But let's see what you get and if it's close to a Cadillac. To the door panels, I do love all the new materials. Look at the way the red contrast stitching is up top with the soft touch. You got a little bit of this like smoky gray finish. There is gloss black around where the door handle is, but you're really not going to be touching it. More red stitching, that perforated leather look. You do have the central Twinkie pocket. That's official trademark by Chevrolet. 6 Twinkies. And then down below, you could go to Jersey Mike's and get yourself a nice Italian sub with extra dressing on it and a large Fanta to wash it down. We got the Bose sound system. And then going from the door panel to the dash, same thing. The upgrade in the materials, really, really nice, especially the stitching. Even liking this gray finish, hides fingerprints really well. You do have your chocolate chip cookie holder on the side. Get yourself some nice large chocolate chip cookies. Slide on in, you got a 17.7-inch infotainment system. Love the way it's angled towards the driver. And I like this little lip here, this little ledge, because it's a good place to kind of work your fingertips. Real deal volume knob for when you're jamming out to the tunes. Your Google Maps, your full Google suite of all of the different apps and all that. You could bring up your climate control. Look at the nice graphics and everything. We could do rear, front, whatever you got. You can make those adjustments. Cameras out the yin yang, and look how good the resolution is. It's like a television. Really crisp, really clear. You want that side view for sure because you don't want to curb those beautiful wheels. That's an understatement. You can pull up your vehicle status, see all the different things. Look at the gauges. This is kind of cool, having all those auxiliary gauges. Your trip odometer, fuel economy. We've been doing really good, as you can see. And then we have our different modes: normal, sport, off-road, tow, and haul. So really nice the way they have the different modes and the graphics. You do have dual climate control, and you can touch the screen to work it. or you could use the actual knob. And we just have heated seats, no ventilated seats. That's a zonk at $91,000. And then we'll come right back to where we started. Working our way down, real knobs for the dual climate control and for your blower fan. You got wireless charging, USB-A, USB-C, a place to put that Costco hot dog, 2 cup holders, and then here is your Chevy key fob, remote start. Nice soft touch with the stitching. Open it up. You have enough room in here to where you could put at least 1 tackle box from Long John Silver's, and then there's a special box here. If you open this, it actually has special Suburban earrings for your someone special in your life. That's a lot of specialness in a very special box here. And I'm not done. Watch this. This is cool. Whoops, wrong thing. There we go. You have that nice sliding center console. You can put a purse, a sack, a satchel. Steven loves to put his Canon camera equipment here. And then you even have your secret drawer that you could put all sorts of goodies in. Maybe put like your small collection of Garbage Pail Kids. You could keep those in there. My dad took all of mine and threw them out. Really broke my freaking heart. Especially I had all the first edition ones. Atom Bomb. Just, oh man, Ray Gun. It was great. 80s were great. Seats, the leather, the stitching, full electric assist for the driver, full electric assist, for the passenger, for the driver as well, duh. And then you got that ginormous panoramic sunroof with the power shade, and to top it off, a digital rear view mirror. But why don't you get your butt over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Suburban. All right, guys, you got 2 memory seats for the driver's side. Nice Chevrolet sill plate, looking good. And then, of course, we got our easy access seat controls. They did rework the material of the seat, not just to look better, but it feels a lot better in here. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of headroom. Steering wheel, one of my favorites. I love the thickness of the wheel, the red stitching. Like I said, this one has the optional autonomous hands-free driving. That's Super Cruise, one of the best in the business, and it is a heated steering wheel. You got paddles to go up and down that 10-speed automatic. It is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel, and what I've always liked about Chevy is you got your light controls. Here's for the 4x4 and your mode selector. Plus we have adaptive air ride, which I could actually raise and lower this vehicle all by the press of a button, which is really cool. And then you got that 11-inch new digital gauge cluster. Watch how I could change it up. Look at that. You want map in front of you? You got map. You want your adaptive cruise, simplified, whatever, however you want to have the display. And then, like I said, you could also make changes to the suspension, which is great. And there's a head-up display. So you're getting a lot of nice touches in this RST. But let's get to the mid-row and the third row and see if your passenger is going to be happy that you went Chevy over the competition. Guys, mid-row time, and just like the seats up front, they've been restructured. Love the materials, the piping, the stitching. You do get captain's chair armrests that are worthy of a human arm. Even the back area here, the pockets, nice and large. You know, one thing that you could put there that I'm a big fan of is collecting license plates. Go to the different states. I even got a license plate that my dad had on his Pontiac Grand Prix back in 1965. It's a New York World's Fair license plate. Very specific because of New York having the World's Fair. Back of the command center, you got your 2 cup holders. You got your blower fan, your temperature gauge, heated seats, no ventilated seats, USB-Cs, and a home power source. And yes, that's a zonk for not having ventilated seats on any $91,000 vehicle. I don't even care if it's a tricycle that's $91,000. You better have a ventilated seat. The seats, though, do slide. They recline really nice. They're these seats are very, very comfortable. And obviously with the reclining action is very good as well. Let me get this out of the way. We're gonna do this all in one shot because Steven wants to. Folds down, look at that, Steven, it didn't hit me like you wanted it to. Pull that up, lots of real estate, and then we're gonna climb into the back, which is not that big of a deal because it's a big third row. Nice and comfy, plenty of headroom. I got AC vents. USB-Cs on both sides, and a little holder back here. You can put some Jolly Ranchers, maybe some atomic fireballs. I remember when I was a kid, we used to stop at a 7-Eleven before we went to the bus stop to get picked up to go to school, and I would buy Jolly Ranchers and atomic fireballs and stuff. You buy them for a nickel and you sell them for $0.25. Entrepreneur, baby. But feels good back here. Let's get into that cargo area and see how much room there is in this Suburban. All right, guys, cargo area time. Hit that button. Nice electric assist. Rises up, and you're going to be greeted to more space than my college dorm room had. How much space are we looking at exactly? Well, of course, when you go Suburban, you're getting that stretch Tahoe. That's basically what a Suburban is. You're looking at, with the third row up, 42 cubic feet of space. Fold the third row down, you get 94 cubic feet of space. Fold the mid row down, you get 145 cubic feet of space. Now, the great news is all of these dimensions are going to be the same as a Yukon, the same as a Cadillac Escalade. To put down the seats, we got our switch gear right here. Look how nice that is. Oh, thank you, how nice that is. 60-40 split, super flat. And then we also do have a home power source. So if you're living out of your Suburban, in suburbia, you could have, you know, your blender, a coffee maker, things like that you could plug in so that you could stay alive. But you know what? I'm not worried about staying alive. I'm worried about going on throttle. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get into this big beast and see how the Suburban handles. All right, guys, we are behind the wheel of this 2025 Chevrolet Suburban RST. And right away, you're gonna be blown away by how they've changed the materials in here. It really keeps inching the Suburban closer to the Cadillac Escalade, especially when you look at, like, say, a high country trim, which, remember, is the top trim in the Suburban lineup. But getting to that new 17.7-inch infotainment system screen is well within reach. One of the things I love about their cameras is that you can leave them up while you're driving, which a lot of brands don't allow you to do that. Chevy, though, you could use it, and it works as a great blind spot camera. I mean, it allows you to have that extra visibility, especially when driving a Suburban, because, like I said, the Suburban is the largest of the SUVs from Chevrolet. Now, with that adaptive air ride suspension, you're getting a very controllable driving experience. And then we're gonna go on throttle. You ready? On throttle, here we go. 10-speed drops down and we're off and running. You got the nice real deal sound of the naturally aspirated V8. And it has a very, very linear torque delivery. It's just, if you're looking for better MPGs, you're gonna have to go with the turbo diesel, because like I said, 14 in the city, 18 on the highway. Right now we're just driving two-wheel drive, which makes it rear-wheel drive. It's rear-wheel drive bias, but you can have that four-wheel drive in action when you need it. But going down the road, it's very, very easy to drive, very composed. And just the environment. I mean, they've worked on the sound deadening material. They worked on the acoustic windshield. You have those large 24-inch wheels, but with the adaptive suspension, the ride is nice and smooth. It's not like the old days when if you went with a really large wheel and a thin sidewall tire, then your ride is going to be really harsh. With this, it's a snap, and it's easy to drive, and it's a nice, comfortable experience. But even if you're not used to a Suburban, because of the technology, it's not so cumbersome. Even parking this beast is not cumbersome at all when you think about how it has more cameras on it than the lunar module that we used when we went to the moon. And when did we go to the moon? 1969. On throttle, here we go. Surprisingly, plenty of pep for that V8, even with the weight of the Suburban. You got the paddles on the back of the wheel to go through the 10-speed automatic manually if you wanted to. And I like the way they went back to column shifters. I know some people are not big fans of that, but it really kind of just opens up this center console area and makes it to where the designers could be more creative with how they structure this system. But visibility out the front is great, out the back, especially with the digital rearview mirror, is fantastic. You could change whatever information you want displayed all by the press of a button right on the steering wheel. Even the COM setting where you just have your speed. That's it. But it's nice to have the different options. And it's crazy that when you go on throttle, when you get on the brakes, there's not a lot of pitch and roll. There's not it's like it's nice and stable. On throttle, here we go. Shifts from that 10-speed are super smooth, whether you're going up the gears or down the gears. And remember, with the different modes, it's changing the personality of the driving dynamics of the vehicle, because you're going to have in sport mode, steering is a little bit more sensitive, throttle sensitivity is increased, and then how the engine and the transmission behave with one another is different than in other modes. So you're really getting a distinct driving experience in each of the modes, which is really, really nice. And then to be able to change lanes so easily, I mean, look at this. It's just it really is a snap. Getting to the infotainment system, like I said, you could bring up your vehicle status. We could bring up all those gauges. Nice to have those extra gauges, especially when you're towing. You want to keep in check your transmission temp, engine oil temp, and of course, oil pressure. Let me shut off these heated seats. Nobody's sitting there, so kind of a waste. But nice to have the easy access to the center console. I'm not a big fan of the gloss black around the cup holders, because if you think about it, there's not much other gloss black in here. But pulling away from a light is just super smooth. That linear torque. And just a well executed SUV. You could tell that the Suburban's been around since 1935, because you got to have all that experience to get to this particular point. That's for sure. And then on top of that, you have Super Cruise. Now, Super Cruise doesn't work on every road, but I got to give it to General Motors. They are adding more and more roads each year for Super Cruise. And it's just such a simple system to use. You're just going to, activate it when you're in an area, and it will tell you when you're in the proper area to activate Super Cruise. So that's really nice as well. Right now, on this particular road, we're not in a Super Cruise zone, but definitely on the highways and even a lot of back roads, which is crazy. Super Cruise works very, very well. On throttle, here we go. On throttle works very well, that's for sure. I think I'm just gonna stay in the lane, but really, really nice and easy to operate, which is great. You could throw the transmission into low. It goes automatically into low by pressing this button on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of what the Suburban RST is bringing to the table, especially the way that this one is spec'd. We're gonna get back to where it all started with the Suburban and wrap it up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day in so many ways with this Chevrolet. See what I did there? I'm a rhyming fiend. But anyways, gotta thank everybody at Chevrolet for getting us access to this 2025 Suburban RST. Now it's your choice, your chance. Let me know in the comment section. Is this almost as good as a Cadillac Escalade for less money? Let me know in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Gotta give up to Stephen Flood. He's making dreams happen. He says the next thing he's gonna do, he's gonna visit Walt Disney World, the place of dreams. So thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.